So Sun and Uranus surprise in your ninth house. Solar means that it translates as well to the house of great career gains, a surprising career gain, perk, reward, moment of success, or the actualization of long-held cherished dream and goal.
Lunatic Astrology.
Hello, my dear Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Wow. May of 2026 forecast for you is going to have you feeling like you've been putting out fires in long-term love relationships and dealing with difficulties in that area, plus clients, customers, and whoever you serve for your career, just causing you a whole bunch of frenzied attention. And even separation and hardship with relationships, whether they're your partners in love or business. And now all of a sudden, we begin to move into May's very different energy. And some of that is going to be in the rear view mirror as you move into a time of greater financial success connected to your career and a lot more ease in those relationships to other people who are important to you, and ostensibly in the life of those people as well. So welcome to the month of May. We're going to have a beautiful three lunations this month, not just two. We're also got all planets direct, which is a nice thing. No retrogrades, by Mercury retrograde. And so we're going to talk about also the dignity of the planets. This is a great month for Mercury in his home kingdom, really serving up some delicious goodness for each of us. So let's talk about that. Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Lori Lothian. This is my channel. This is Lunatic Astrology, and we're doing Western tropical zodiac, not sidereal. In today's video, I want you to understand that we use whole sign houses to delineate your chart in a general way, and all channels on YouTube do the same thing. So don't get confused by your natal Placidus chart. And if you want to learn how to cast your chart in the whole sign house system of the ancient traditions, including Vedic or Indian astrology, who still uses it, my free tutorial is in the description box below. And if you want to know how to listen today, your sun sign will be your essential true self, representing career and purpose, where your moon sign is your feelings and thinkings of a life, how you feel, think and feel, but it represents your home and nest and private life. And finally, the ascendant is a simulation avatar. The game player is the sun. You got this kind of character. You look a certain way. You're a certain sign. You act a certain way. And that's your character in the sim. And that means that it's very sensitive to changes in the story of the sky. Listen for all three. Over time, you begin to see what works for you. Technically, after the age of about 45, we begin to operate more often from our solar energy, our sun sign. So I'm going to show you the chart in the next 30 to 35 minutes. We're going to circle the wheel and go through this week by week. But I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that I'm teaching a class in May, because this is May's forecast. And I still have some spots left. It's my Divine Timing Masterclass. And you can join me for one weekend only of the 5 or all 5. It's modular learning on 5 precision divine timing tools of ancient astrology to precision time your life. And if you want to come aboard, check out the description box below to the website. It's my LoriLothian.com site, but it'll give you a direct link to the enrollment page in the course description. And I'd love to see you in class if you're an advanced beginner or an intermediate student. If you're not sure, when you go to the website, there's a checklist to tell you if you're ready for this kind of teaching and learning or not. I'll see you in class, some of you. It'd be great to have you there. Let's get started. All right. Now, here's the deal. I think for you guys, I'm going to show you the sky and you're going to know immediately what the hell I am talking about when I talked about that intensity in your marriage house. And that means any kind of committed love relationship. Doesn't have to be a legal marriage, just means you're monogamous and committed, right? This stellium was even worse in April. We're starting April 30th. We're going to go to May 1st. It was so jam friggin' packed. Okay. We had the sun and moon over here as well. All I can say, you probably hit a wall in a relationship. You might have almost fractured that relationship. You might have picked the pieces back up. Your partner was going through a difficult time, especially partners dealing with sobriety or drug addiction or habits and patterns of escapism, even mental health challenges, and they were trying to work it through. And this could also apply to difficulties or too much attention in a frenzy of activity connected to your customers, your clients, your audience, your marketplace for this Jupiter-inspired expansion of your work. Like you are like, hey, until June 30th, you're good to go. I mean, you're making waves in your career. You're getting a lot of success, but at what cost and how much attention went away from you to everybody else out there? Well, that's closing down in the month of April. This is where finally you feel, the month of May, a bit of relief by mid-month And it continues to get better and better as we approach the end of the month. Now, the first 3 weeks of May are easy and flowing. The last week for the world and each of us, we're going to hit sort of a grinding the gears moment. It's going to be very intense. I'm going to help you understand how to get through that last week as well, the best way possible. Let's start off with the moon that's happening here. What moon? This moon. This is May the 1st. What kind of lunation is it? Full and bright in your second house, illuminating the following themes: your dietary habits and things you put in your nose and mouth. South node in your 12th is probably helping you let go of addictions or bad habits. So this can be oral habits. Did you actually maybe put a peg in place back on November 19th? Add a couple of weeks when the new moon happened here, you might have had it like, I'm going to clean up my act. I'm going to stop eating gluten. I'm going to quit the pasta. I'm going to ditch the wine, whatever. If you went through any of these kind of things, fresh starts, December, sober December or whatever, well, now you can fulfill that. Now you have more momentum. But on the other hand, this is your money, your earnings, and your resources. It's your pocketbook wallet. And a full moon is lighting it up. It's like a torchlight here. So there can be something very powerful to increase your wealth. Why would I say that? Well, because Jupiter's trining the lunation, and the lunation will be exactly at 11 degrees, but Jupiter's still in a whole sign trine. And on top of that, the North Node is also trining the lunation from the house of work. It looks like it could be an opportunity to grow into a bigger position or financial gain from the actual work service career path you're on. If you're retired, then you're going to have a bit of a career. So a reputation glow up maybe. However, there's one concern in the moon is in a condition of her fall. So it can be you're going to receive the opportunity to thrive and get success and more money and career accolades and work success, Artha success, material resources. And yet there may be a cost, which might be emotional satisfaction, right? There might be something about it that, oh yeah, but like, is this really going to be okay? Am I going to enjoy this? I mean, I'm striving. This is like where the greed or the rush to succeed can get in the way of your sensibility of, is this going to be something that's sustainable emotionally for me, or am I going to be exhausted? So keep that in mind. This is a moon that will give you an opportunity professionally. It opens a door on the May 1st timeframe. Within 2 weeks, you should know what this is about. It shouldn't take long, and it can unfold as a longer story within 6 months after the moon. On May the 1st to the 3rd, Venus will sextile Saturn. See, Venus is love and money. She happens to be moving through Gemini. And this is a good story for you. I want you to be aware of her presence here. She moved into the lucky ninth house, trining your Libra sun, moon, and rising on April 24th, and she will be there until May the 18th. There's nothing about this that you won't enjoy. The goddess of love, money, beauty, pleasure, everything good is flowing to you. She's giving you what you want. She's giving you grace, and all Libras love this transit. So it has a lot of upside for you in so many ways, even feeling more physically alive and beautiful. Yes. And finding yourself in the presence of success in court cases, academic settings, foreign land travel, and some of that travel, could be connected to work as well. And so this beautiful glow that you're having with Venus, April 24th to May 18th, well, we come into the sextile to Saturn, and it wants to consolidate something in your long-term committed love house. One way it could work if you're with somebody is you're going to try to consolidate or structure the relationship in a more legal format. Yes, like a wedding proposal or a marriage date or something like that. Another thing that could occur is there's a particular customer, client, or marketplace person who is represented by Saturn, somebody maybe of a certain age, an older man or woman, and there's going to be an opportunity emerging for you here, and it may involve international themes or foreign country themes and professional success. Or if you're in the book publishing industry, and some of you are, Mercury would be the agent offer kind of thing and putting a concrete form around a book publishing deal. What are the dates again? Yes, I want you to know this, all my Libras out there. It is going to be May the 1st to the 3rd. Mars is in a square from his home kingdom in your 7th house with Jupiter on May 2nd to the 7th. Normally, we don't like a square, but we have a dignity factor. So strong and capable Mars squares Jupiter in his exaltation. Life change turning point decisions regarding the following themes: your professional success and work accomplishments and legal contracts and deals. Signing a new offer, for example, or a new position agreement. or your significant other is going through an opportunity that requires a very fast moving and executive decision making capacity in this kind of chart. And for your significant other, it would be a career opportunity for them. So there's something going on for that for them, or also for you. Both of you have these themes playing out. Probably wondering how I derived that. Saturn in the house of the spouse rules the 10th house from the 7th, which means it's their career opportunity emerging, and it could give them more time at home, more spaciousness around their home life. FYI, another opportunity that come off this for your spouse is in the discovery that your spouse has conceived a child. Okay, that would be a female, obviously. And again, what are we talking about? We're talking about May 2 to 7. What's the decision you must make? Because Saturn's the Grim Reaper. Keep the child, keep the pregnancy, or not keep the pregnancy. And then on the 4th and 5th exactly, Mercury moving quickly through Aries squares Pluto. Now, technically, normally, this is like X-ray vision. You can see through something. You can get information or news about something that was hidden from view. Of course, as again, this is a fertility house, and having children, Pluto represents termination of those fertility moments, and Mars is a decision. So we talked about that, and now Mercury is the news, right? So wait, but Mercury's moving on. So let's get him into your 8th house. Ooh. So around fertility, pregnancy stories, or maybe major discussions going on around whether or not this is a keeper or not. Can you afford to have a baby, you and your partner? The other thing is that secrets revolving love affairs and sexuality and disclosures may emerge off of this sky. So, any kind of secrets, you've hidden them from your spouse is hidden them from you, or deep conversations with raw intimacy, with a spotlight moon about what it is you both want sexually from the relationship. And so it can be uncovering cathartic, regenerative, and renewing of your sex life if those conversations happen in an intimate, authentic way on the 4th and 5th of May. The moon is going to move on May 6th into the sign of Capricorn and form a beautiful Earth trine. Now, Earth trines bring wealth, prosperity, and money, and good things like that. And this is going to open up even a bit of a kite. But more importantly, this is what we want to focus on. Where are you likely to find a new level of earth-based prosperity and resourcefulness? Well, this can be because you're going to sell a home, purchase a home, receive an inheritance from a father figure in your family of origin. That includes grandparents or great-great-grandparents. And you might even come into a time when there's an acknowledgement around the first week of May that this person is going to be in a hospital, and now, or even the end of April. And now you're looking at the idea that you're coming into money off of this story. Okay. So that would only apply to those of you who have father figures or spousal separation agreements and divorces and money coming your way. It's not long lived. It really should be something on May 5th and 6th that catches your attention in this regard. Now, the sun, we're moving to this, and I don't know why this is Vancouver, Australia. My software continually defaults to this stupid thing, but don't worry. I'm telling you the truth. Just don't ignore the Australia bit. I have no idea what that's about. I live in Vancouver, Canada. All right. Second week, 7th to the 14th, the sun will sextile Jupiter. And right after that, Mercury will sextile Jupiter. So 9th to the 13th, this is on 14th even, there's this ongoing story. This makes this a very positive second week of the month, to say the very least. The sun is in a house of chunky money. Jupiter is in the house of father figures. Again, inheritances, career gains, and career successes. Sign-on bonus, severance package, performance review checks, royalty income agreements, advances for your book, financially, a chunk of money connected to a career win. Those are happening here. And the thing is that right after the 9th to the, say, 12th, when the sun hooks up with Venus, then right away, Mercury does the same thing, following suit. And so when Mercury catches up and does the same thing, it's the contractual paperwork and the agreements and, the discussions about how this should look. So when I say paperwork, I mean, especially an earthy Taurus, it's paperwork about money. And there's Venus in the house of law. So law and paperwork and money. This is a mutual reception. So you're likely going to be signing some kind of legal documentation that has legal consequences about a career escalation opportunity, a book publishing deal, an inheritance settlement, a divorce settlement. It looks favorable to you. It looks like it's going to go very well. That's the second week of May. Basically the kind of 9th to the 13th. On the 14th of May, Cazimi. Well, let me say one more thing about Mercury here. As he comes into that square to Jupiter, which is good news, okay? Positive news, positive developments and contracts, agreements. I will say one thing about it. He does have the ability to translate some of this as well to other parts of the chart, particularly your 12th house. So somebody in a hospital, deals, father figures, transfer of money as well. Hospitals belong to the 12th. Now, on May the 14th, Mercury will be in the heart of the sun. This is called a Cazimi. We have 60 every year, and I do free webinars. Come join me. We do a meditation. You're in a Zoom room with me. It's a lot of fun, and it's a little presentation, and I tell you how to handle each Cazimi, how to make the best of this magical, lucky moment in time. Mercury's getting a divine download from the headquarters of the universe, and it's good for your soul. Well, it's also good for a lot of things here. It's good for your money as well, your pocketbook, your wallet, and something about this conjunction will reset your course financially in the 6 weeks that follow. You should be quite aware of it. It'll be obvious to you, but learn how to use this particular conjunction as well. And we will also look at that Cazimi and think about how the Taurus energy is being ruled by Venus in your 9th house. So it can translate to weddings and churches and synagogues, and a 6-week rollout around international themes or travel or money, from legal settlements, etc., or even news about getting a grant or a stipend to attend your favorite university, getting a student loan, that kind of stuff. Now, in the second half of the month, starting on the 14th to the 21st, we are going to notice that we have a second lunation, and it is a Taurus moon that is new. The new moon is at 25 degrees of Taurus, and that moon is happening in the chunky money house that we've been talking about ad nauseum. New beginnings in your long-term finances, on more income that comes from sources like royalties and ad revenues and inheritances and spousal support and property sales and all of that. So there's something about that moon that wants to bring you a new beginning at 25 degrees of the 8th house, and will unfold in the first 2 weeks after the moon, maybe 3 days before, and then up to 6 months later. Because the moon is also accompanied by a flowing relationship to Lord Jupiter, it's a very lucky moon at 23 degrees. See how Jupiter's witnessing that moon? In fact, Mercury and Sun have been talking with Jupiter, and now we talked about that, and now they're forming a moon pact in your 8th house. And it looks good for your career and reputation as much as it looks good for your money. And that new moon will unfold something positive over the course of 2 weeks and even further 6 months. On May the 16th to the 18th, Venus and her cosmic lover Mars end up in a very twisty flow of energy called a sextile. You're already feeling it on the 13th of May. But as we move closer to here, now we're on the 15th of May, and then we're on the 16th of May and the 17th of May. What the heck, guys? And it's going to transfer on the 18th. So give me a minute. 18th, 19th. This kind of depends on where you live. Is most places it's the 18th. So the 15th to the 18th or so, there's something really good trying to happen in your long-term committed love relationship. Now, Mercury is an announcer, and there's a surprise announcement. What is being announced around the 15th to the 18th to do with a long-term committed love story and international travel, foreign lands and shores, home, maybe something to do with moving your country to another home, moving your home to another country with a significant other. Surprising news around the birth of grandchildren coming from your partner's side of the family, perhaps. Surprising news about the possibility of a wedding proposal, setting a wedding date, announcing to the world, sending out the invitations. But there's an element of the exhilarating Mercury-Uranus conjunction here that same time. So 16th to the 19th even. So what is that about? Because Mercury and Uranus form a flowing, beautiful mini trine, this is also extremely positive energy. And it can be a dream come true in a long-term committed love story connected to pregnancy, fertility, romance, marriage, children, grandchildren involved in all of this. If you've been having trouble in the horrendous April with some make or break times in committed love stories, that turns around now. Same could apply with clients, customers, and business partners. That's turned around, getting ready to leave completely. Watch Mars in a minute, crossing over and getting that separation, conflict, and division out of your long-term love stories and committed partnerships. Okay. But you survived it, right? Every 2 years, Mars tests your marriage house. So I like this a lot if you're single. So when you're single and you're looking for love, you're going to meet a swashbuckling masculine energy. It could be a woman who's got masculine energy, who might be 7 years or 7 years older or younger than you, and help you heal a wound about like committed love that you've been dealing with for years, since 2019. And kaboom, because you meet this person in a church, a synagogue, a travel, international travel escapade. They're from a foreign land, foreign country, foreign culture, different skin color. They're in the place of the foreigner or something like that. There's this love story. So it's not a bad setup if you meet somebody new under this and start a love story. The only difficulty would be, why is Saturn in a fall? Maybe there's an age difference gap between you and the other person that makes you uncomfortable. But all said and done, the Venus-Mars thing will lead to long-term friendship, not just sexual sizzle, not just hot fire and hot air, you know? Now, let's keep going and talk about the transition of Venus and Mars on the 19th in most time zones into the sign of water and earth. So we have mud, we have a kiln, we have something we want to put, mud, make a pottery here. A mask, facial mask, water and mud. Okay, so Venus is like, I've got your career, girl and boys. I'm going to make you successful. You're going to like your job. You could be a little bit high profile, a little bit celebrity. You're going to get a lot of exposure, publicity. People are looking up at you. Jupiter is expanding your success. Of course, raises promotions and up levels in general in career settings. Venus will be in this part of your sky for a long time. She'll be here from May the 19th to June the 13th. So this is a real career glow up for you. But she also hooks up with Mars in the House of Secrets. If you are single and looking for a relationship, or in a relationship and want to dally outside your marriage, this is going to be a sexual relationship in a work setting that's being kept a secret. Jupiter means the boss. So somebody might be falling for the boss, or the boss might be falling for you. Keep in mind, this is just general astrology. This is not true for everyone. If you're listening for your Libra rising spouse, don't worry. Cross watchers, as they say in tarot land. I like this for money coming to you from the 8th house through mechanisms of the 10th. Well, yes, inheritance is included, father figures included, but this looks more like Mars is good for plowing the field, like the bulldozer in the sign of the bull. It's not in good shape, right? He likes to earn money here. He likes to hustle. This is not hustle. This is almost like driving the snowplow or the rotor-rooter or something through really thick grass in a money house. And there may be some combat or separation here going on, but it will be connected to 10th house matters, which is one's career. This could also be weddings and marriage energies getting all cooked up with prenuptial agreement storylines in the background, or ways that you're trying to figure out how to make sure everyone gets their fair share before the marriage happens and there's no hard feelings if it ends. This is also Mars kind of plowing the soil through your house of your investments. With a sextile to Venus, things could go well, but he may be paring back the portfolio or scrutinizing what needs to be cut away from investment monies. For example, he's also the exaltation lord of home, property, land, and real estate. Mars here can be about selling a property at this time, which is not a bad idea, but he is also not in good shape. So be careful. If you wanted to sell a property under this sky, I kind of think I'd wait until Mercury enters your 10th house. Just saying. which will be about May 17th to June 1st. Okay. And you'll still have Mars plowing in your eighth. So you like to get Mercury witnessing the fourth house in some way. And maybe I'm wrong, but that I kind of think I like that better. All right. Well, then we have the next story is Venus squaring Neptune, which can be disillusionment in money and love matters, or seeing more clearly through the fog of one's own self-illusion and delusion, because Venus is trying from the top of the sky, especially with Jupiter, to bring truth and wisdom to all things. And she's going to have a moment, where she just looks over at Neptune and says, WF, W2F, what the F? And it can be about your marriage partner, business partners, or your way you're interacting with your clients, customers, and audience. You might have some sense of a disillusionment energy or disappointment in your particular relationships in those regards. And it could also impact your reputation. All right. So everyone finds out something about your partner and you're embarrassed by it or something like that. You might also see through a contractual agreements legally that you're trying to make for professional reasons. And Venus will do her best, especially with Jupiter's support, to have you get past your illusion of what you expected it to look like and be more realistic about what it does look like. Because Venus is going to hit Saturn up on the same story at the end of the month. So you might have had pie in the sky visions or dreams about, I'm going to get a book publishing deal advance for like $100,000. And they're laughing at you. You said, we don't do those advances anymore. You had a big high expectation of a spousal type partner and they failed to meet your expectations. So there's a bit of frustration and disappointment. That's definitely something you're going to experience in the second half of the month. And it really begins to take form for the first time around May the 21st to the 23rd. Now, we can forgive partners and business partners and clients and audiences for letting us down, but only advice I have for Libra is you guys are always trying to make it work, right? You hate upsetting the apple cart and you always try to bend backwards for somebody else in your life. So be careful with that as well, okay? That you also take care of your own needs. I got that song in my, I beg your pardon. I never promised you a rose garden. So go Google that one. It just came to me for you if you're having disappointments in love relationship here and expectations of the other and your reputation, etc. Okay. I forgot to mention Mercury will sextile Neptune and trine Pluto. Oh, no, I did cover that. Yeah, I covered the mini grand trine. Now we're going to talk about the sun hitting Uranus, bringing a surprise, okay? And the surprise will be solar. So Sun and Uranus surprise in your ninth house. Solar means that it translates as well to the house of great career gains, a surprising career gain, perk, reward, moment of success, or the actualization of long-held cherished dream and goal. Ninth house things would be book publishing, international, dharmic, being aligned with purpose, academic success, and on and on. But we do see it coming as a little bit of a blinding surprise. But with Mercury there, also making sure everything works out, it's a positive surprise and it can be news related. You get the phone call, the email, the text. If you're trying to publish a book, you got like an email from your agent or call that you just got like Simon & Schuster, your dream publisher. Things like that are happening here. Your dream contract for your work agreements connected to international clients or getting a position that's going to put you into more international reach in your work. And then Mercury will sextile Saturn on the 21st to the 23rd. Now, Mercury is in dignity and he's going to do his best to handle Saturn in its fall. So there's some news or information that can bring solid long-term results, conversations that you're having with a significant business partner, customer, client, or long-term love partner who is going through a time of difficulty, perhaps. Saturn has fallen. And your conversational energies or emails or phone calls are happening here. because this is also maybe not your story, but quite connected to your other person, there may be some things going on in their life connected to third house matters. Like they're going to be thinking of moving their home, or not like moving their home, sorry. They're going to be thinking of, they're having some information news connected to their siblings or to their local neighborhood or to their local environment if they work in a local, brick and mortar business, and they have a bit of information or news that feels constrictive or constraining, and they're going through some challenges as well. It's a short-lived event. It's not going to last very long. It's just a couple of days. So the 20th to about the 22nd. OMG. I was up for 3 hours last night, not sleeping. So excuse me. And it's over by the 22nd. So yeah, 20th to the 22nd. Flash in the pan. Now, here we go. And I talk about this in the intro. I try to remember to tell people buckle up for the last week of the month. So we're talking about really like the 21st to the end of the month, especially on the 23rd to the 26th. Why? Why are we want to buckle up? Well, before we buckle up and talk about this story, I want to remind you that I promised you a rose garden. In the beginning, I said the tension in your long-term love relationship from the April stellium begins to fall apart. And this is true because Mars enters as a bulldozer. Remember, your 8th house of chunky money and other things that I've talked about. And May 19th to June 28th is going to be there. Mercury's long gone from this stellium and Venus as well. So the energy now of the challenges of April are definitely lightening up. Keep that in mind. But unfortunately, on May 23rd to the 26th, Mars is going to come into a very intense square to Pluto, very intense square to Pluto. And the energy can be about some struggle of power and will between you and another person. Now, you could be ambitious and super powered and working too hard, but to work too hard only if you're doing entrepreneurial gigs, artistic gigs, or you're working way too hard when it comes to like taxes, accounting, finances, banking, loans, and mortgages. Otherwise, it's just like, okay, what is going on here? It's coming off one of the most karmic houses in your zodiac, all of our zodiacs, the 8th house. And it's in a place that bends the current nodes of fate. No, it doesn't. So never mind. Just it's in the most karmic house of the zodiac. And it's hitting the house of children and romantic and sexual love, squaring your 5th house. Your 5th house is a dating partnership, not a marriage. Okay. So there could be conflicts in a new relationship that are super intense, and it's like a hurdle you have to go through May 23rd to 26th, as long as it's not a long-term committed love. It could even be some sexual intimacy battles or disclosures or difficulties there. The energy of Mars in the bulldozer effect, right? Could be money difficulties in the life of a child, adult child, not piggy bank child. And difficulties in the life of a child that are going to be cathartic and transformative, that may have a requirement that they move their home, change their home, sell their home or something like that. So for your child, there's something going on if you have children. It's particularly relevant to both your first and second born child under this sky, but maybe even more so a second born if you have kids. But there's that story too. And there can be some conflicts if you did sell a property under the sky, because there was indications you could sell in the month of May. Now you're coming into some conflicts about the money that was money that you were supposed to take possession of for the sale of the property. The gains of the 4th is Pluto in the 5th. And now you've got conflict over escrow, banking, mortgages, loans, deposits, all of that. So there's a tension there. May the 23rd to the 26th. Pay attention. At the same time that's going down, there's also the sun trining Pluto. Well, that's actually quite good, right? So now Pluto, the god of wealth, power, and transformation and regeneration, is talking to the sun in the 9th house. Okay, so much is going on. News that you're going to be a grandparent and you're surprised. Travel plans, international opportunities, and academic success that flows to your creative, artistic, and inspirational house of good fortune. The sun rules the house of windfalls and pennies from heaven. trining the god of wealth. Could you have a wealthy pennies from heaven sudden breakthrough? Yes. Somehow, some way, you become possessed of a large amount of wealth that feels like a windfall. Yes, that could happen under this sky. All righty. If that is to happen, it may come also through your spouse's family of origin, an inheritance coming through your long-term love partner's family that benefits both you and your partner. And lastly, somebody of great influence and power, which is to step in and to help you, and it will help you financially as well as in your reputation and success. Well, you also feel very purposeful and leaned into purpose, and the sun is shining a beautiful trine to you, and you feel enlivened and vital here, enlivened and vital, but also powerful and powered up. It opens up Dharma, meaning and purpose, being aligned with purpose. May the 23rd to the 26th. On May the 27th to the 29th, Venus will square Saturn. Now, Venus squared Neptune on the 21st to the 22nd. And now on the 27th to the 29th is the same story, but a different tonal quality to some degree. Venus has high expectations for you to be successful in your reputation, in your wedding plans and announcements, in your career, in your professional accomplishment zone. And she's down for it. And then she squares Saturn and goes, okay, what the hell? I'm getting some pressure. I'm getting some applied pressure from Saturn, who is very much controlling and rigid and persevering energy. And yet at the same time, Saturn is in a condition of fall. If this is about your professional life on the 27th to 29th, and one way it could play out is there's just a real difficult client, customer, or a legal partnership business contract agreement that's really got some gnarly, rough edges. And Saturn also, because he's the ruler of your fourth house of home, this may be about something to do with your home, property, and real estate relative to your career path, like your job, arrangements maybe will force upon you some difficult circumstances in your home life. Saturn could translate some of this energy to difficulties in sexual and love and romance or children because of connections to your success story in your career. Kids are like, you have no time for me, mom or dad. Romantic dating partner says, I never see you. You're working 24/7, maybe. You're trying to find pleasure and love in what you do. And this is very, celebrity status up here. But maybe it's taking a toll on your marriage, taking a toll on your relationship to your kids. Okay. Pay attention. And finally, we have a Sagittarius 9-degree full moon. It's going to happen on May the 31st, and it's going to come off of the new moon that was planted a new seed December 19th last year. So when we talk about Sagittarius for you, we talk about writing, communicating, teaching and learning, marketing and selling, short distance travel, neighbors and siblings, and local environment that you spend your daily life in, stores, restaurants, places you go. So what I think about that third house, so busy, right? It's also in our modern day media, social media outlets. A full moon is a good thing in a social media outlet house, and the moon's in her joy. So did you plant social media success, writing success seeds, communicating, marketing, selling, learning, and teaching success seeds back in December? December 19th, add 2 weeks, because now the fulfillment and the ripening and the harvesting of success is here. And it should feel successful to you. It should not feel unsuccessful. It should feel very, very successful. Now, because the moon will be at 9 degrees in a rough bending of the nodes of fate, it's also a very karmic and destined energy. It's pulling energy from the South Node in the 12th house, digital income, borderless revenue, foreign lands and places, but also deep spiritual attunement to your soul. And it's also fulfilling something that is durable. So whatever this fulfillment is in the 2 weeks that follow the moon, so May 31st, add 2 weeks, there's a recognition that this is an enduring, durable, long range, long game story. So it's how you could reach your audience in a sustainable way with a, dreamy, inspiring content. There's pioneering something right there. And possibly because this is activating the publishing industry axis, this is book publishing or maybe Substack columns and stuff, this is surprisingly positive for a fulfillment of writing goals and dreams that lead to publishing success stories. And Mercury represents agents. And so maybe you're actually getting an agent. Mercury will, if you want to get a book publishing deal or agent or something like that, then the window of success is Mercury in Gemini, May 17th to June the 1st. Okay. Yeah, you're going to love that. Some of you. Or international offers connected to your work. If you market, sell, write, teach, and communicate, and getting some international success or range, a range of motion in your work. Like you want to be, they're going to offer you the director of global marketing and sales or something like that. You're like, oh my God, that's way bigger than mine. Or you get a promotion to the top professor, or you get tenured professorship from all of your writing you've been doing, all the papers you've been publishing. Some really nice success stories here in a very dharmic alignment with your truest purpose. Don't be afraid of success, because in June, please like and subscribe so you don't want to miss this conjunction between Jupiter and Venus in June. In June, yeah, because now we're in May. You're going to love that story for you. It's really rare. It's kind of once every 12, 13 years. And we had one last year, and this one's going to be better than last year. So I'll tell you why in June. Don't forget, when you watch my videos, you're getting this content for free minus the ads. If you don't like the ads, you can join me on Patreon, where it's early access ad-free content for a mere something, $7 a month. If you want to join me in Substack, I write weekly astrology forecasts about world stuff. I've been very accurate on much of it. And I can't say some of the stuff here out loud because I will be demonetized. In fact, I was demonetized when I said that in August, I had done a video here. And I said to you guys, there's going to be like a 9/11 type event around 9/11 this year. And it was the assassination of Charlie Kirk. But because I said the word 9/11, they demonetized it and I couldn't use it. I pulled it down and I had to take that content and put it on Substack instead. So if you want to join me over there, it's written content, but it's great. I think I have fun doing it. My members only community get occasional live streams from me. You get a bunch of perks. You get like stuff. Check out my members only content here as well. See you guys soon. That was a lot of work. April the 16th, I think I had 5 hours sleep last night. I woke up in the night with creative cauldron going on as Mercury transiting Aries transited over my Mercury, as Neptune transiting over my Mercury. I was in a visionary fugue state last night. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh God, I got to do some that will help. Bye, guys. Ciao, ciao. Well, astrology is the map. It is the terrain of time. And in our course, the Divine Timing Masterclass, we're going to be learning about 5 very powerful precision tools in astrology to time your best life. But here is the thing. This is a course that takes ancient timing tools and Time Lord tools, and yes, helps you navigate reality with greater ease and flow and even luck because you know how to work with it. But it is not the only part that astrology offers you. It's not only a prediction map of time. Once you start going down the astrology rabbit hole, you, like me, begin to wonder about fate and free will, like who's in charge here? Because you're going to see the arc of destiny, and you're going to notice if you use these timing tools, not only how to look forward, but how to look backwards. And one of the most surprising parts of this is that when we turn around and look backwards using astrology, we see pattern recognition and cycle repetition. So in my Divine Timing Masterclass, I've chosen 5 tools that I think I can teach intermediate to advanced beginner students. And I have taught this class before in 2022 and 2021, but not all of these tools. I taught 4 of these tools, I believe. So in our class, if you want to join me in the Divine Timing Masterclass for 5 consecutive weekends in the month of May on Saturdays, I'd love to have you there. There's a little checklist on my website that's going to ask you whether or not you think you're ready for this class, because you don't want to take this class if you've never before learned the meaning of the planets, the meanings of the houses, how to recognize the astrology glyphs. If you don't know the rudimentary language of astrology, this course will not be for you. Lunatic astrology.